Hey guys, welcome back to West Virginia Mountain Life. And this is the second part of our potting inside program. Basically, I finished up the pots that we were working on earlier, and I went ahead and prepped this pot because I want to show you a neat little trick that I have learned to do. In this baggie are onion tops. I buy a lot of green onions at the store for my family, especially during the winter months when I don't have them, which hopefully this year I will have more of them. And whenever I go to clean them, instead of putting these tops over into our compost, I've been saving them. I put them inside of a Ziploc bag and I put them in the drawer of my refrigerator. It keeps them nice and moist, and as you can see, they haven't turned brown. Their roots actually have gotten longer since I put them in the bag. What we're going to do is we're actually going to plant these in this pot right here, and they will grow me green onions again from what would have been a waste product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take these little guys and stick them root down in my pot here. And this soil is the exact same soil mixture that I had used for my other pots when we were planting their seeds. I just make that big tote full of it and use it until it's gone. And then I make more whenever I need it. But we're just going to put these down in there with the roots facing down. And we'll cover these little guys up. And as we water them, in hopefully a few weeks, we'll see little green onions start coming back up. I had 2 onions that started to do that were head onions in my onion bin in my kitchen. And so I kept them instead of putting them over into the compost. I've kept them, and I keep cutting the green part off and using it, and it keeps regrowing itself off of those onions in there. And I've been using the green parts of those onions off those 2 head onions for weeks and weeks now, and I just keep getting more little green tops. I put them on baked potatoes, I put them in salad. They are a little bit stronger than if you buy green onions in the store, I guess because they're coming off of a head onion. But they still serve the purpose. You just don't use as many of them. But as you can see here, I have purchased a lot of green onions in the last little bit, and I will be posting a video soon on how I plant my onion sets outside, and you'll see how many onion sets that I actually plant. And I will continue to go back because my family loves onions. All the way from my husband to all 3 of my boys, they love onions. So we use lots and lots of onions. But basically, I'm almost to the end here. I'm just sticking these little guys down in there and covering them up. Do not put a lot of soil on top of these because they need room to pop back up through the soil, and they don't want to have to grow forever and ever amen to get back up and out of there. So we just want to make sure they're down in there and covered up fairly decent, and then we will add some water to these in the other pots, and hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll have green onions. Okay, these are some old totes that I had that I used to store stuff in, and I had them left over, and some of them got busted on the sides to where the lids wouldn't fit on them. They got some cracks in the tops of them and stuff, so they weren't very good for storage anymore, but they make great places to start my seeds. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start some tomato plants. And I will be taking these planters here in and out of the house, depending on what the weather is, every day until my plants get big enough to transplant over into my garden. You can purchase plants at just about any department store now that, you know, has a garden section or whatever. Roadside stands. We have several little markets around our house down here that sell plants. They're just super expensive. Seeds are a lot cheaper if you can have luck with planting seeds that will turn into the plants that you need. You're going to come out a lot easier and a lot cheaper. Plus, you know how they were grown. We try to keep everything that we can organic. We don't use fertilizer and things like that because we just feel like it's healthier. The only types of fertilizer we use are compost and things that are all natural. So we know how these are grown, so we don't have to worry about having anything chemically snuck in on our family that we didn't know about. The first types of tomatoes that we're going to plant, we ordered online, and these are called Russian black tomatoes. These are some really, really, really good tomatoes. We grew some last year. They're a real hardy tomato, and they're real meaty. They don't have a lot of juice to them, but they are black. They're black in color, and they're kind of odd when you first see them. You're like, is that tomato or what? But they are tomatoes, and they are very, 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 very good, and they have lots of flavor. And I think my favorite part about them would not be to eat them raw. I like them cooked, in stews and things like that, because they do have such a good flavor to them. And I really didn't want us to plant these this year. I was just kidding, because evidently I have scotch taped them until I can't get them back open. But we're going to plant some of these and hopefully have some really good turnout with our plants so that we can get them transplanted over into our garden, because these are really hard to find in a plant form around where we live, and that's why we ordered them offline. You can get all kinds of different seeds. There is a seed for everything that you can get online, all the way down to watermelons that have purple meat on the inside of them, which I thought was way too cool. But it's just a matter of getting the seeds in and doing like we're doing here and planting them in little planters to where you can transplant them whenever they get bigger. Okay, we're going to put those over here. We're trying to space those apart fairly decent so that when they come up, we don't have to try to separate them out apart from one another and have a lot of combined stuff there. We're going to cover these little guys up, and I did put diapers in the bottom of these planters also to help retain the water, just in case for some reason, you know, I get caught up in what I'm doing and forget to come over here and water them. It's also good to take your plants like this in your planters outside, because then they get wind resistance from natural air that's blowing around outside, and you also get natural sunlight. You can put things under a grow lamp, and I'm 100% for a grow lamp, because they will speed up the germination process like you would not believe. But in the grand scheme of things, nothing beats the sunshine. So anytime that you can take them out, take them outside, because it helps them grow a tougher exoskeleton on the outside of the plant to help keep it from, you know, panicking with the regular weather that we have. The next tomatoes I'm going to plant are heirloom tomatoes. These are called mortgage lifters. I don't know why they're called that, but We're going to read and find out. It says, mortgage lifter heirloom tomatoes were developed in the early 1930s by Mr. Biles of Logan, West Virginia. Woohoo! Props up to West Virginia. He crossbred the largest tomatoes that he could find there and sold the resulting plants for $1 each. Excuse me. He was able to pay off his mortgage in 6 years. Hence why it is named the mortgage lifter. It's a sweet flavored tomato. It's large and it's meaty. It has few seeds and it ripens to a deep, deep pink color. It's great for sandwiches and salads. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think that's just about the neatest story I've heard in a long time. So we are going to use our mortgage lifter tomatoes, and we're going to put them in and hopefully have a great turnout on those, because I can't wait to tell that story to my kids. It just goes to show people perseverance does pay off, even if it's $1 tomato plant at a time. I think a lot of times we lose sight these days of great stories and great tales of our area, and West Virginia has some wonderful, wonderful storytellers, and they have some neat backgrounds on a lot of things. I am very, very proud to be from West Virginia. You know, a lot of people don't see how great our area is. We're not just coal miners, which praise God for them, but the people of West Virginia have a deep, deep heritage in what they do. You know, they have farmed their whole lives. They provided for their families when there was nothing to provide with. We had midwives that delivered our children, you know, and took great care in that. We have people who know medicinal remedies for things that are all natural. You know, when I got sick when I was little, you know, there was a lot of things that my family did to heal me other than rush me to the doctor's office, because not all the time did we have medical insurance or the money to go to the doctor. And so we had all kinds of home remedies that we did and things of that nature, and I am very, very grateful for that. Okay. The next ones that we're going to plant are tomato plants again, and these are the West Virginia 63 tomatoes. I have never grown these at all. I'm anxious to see how they do. I've heard really, really, really good stuff about these tomatoes. So we're going to try them out this year, see what they do. But it says it's a West Virginia 63 tomato. It says West Virginia. It can't be bad. The seeds are very, very, very small in these tomatoes. So that means whenever you're slicing that sucker to put him on a biscuit, you're not going to have to worry about a lot of seeds. I remember when I was little, my granddad used to fuss because he had false teeth. He had dentures. And he would fuss about tomatoes. He loved them better than anything. But he always said that, you know, if somebody was getting on his nerves, he'd say they were getting on his nerves like a tomato seed. And the reason was because tomato seeds would get up and under his dentures and hurt his gums. And so he probably would have really enjoyed these because the seeds are really small and he wouldn't have had to fight with them. And it said there are very few and far in between in the tomato. Alright guys, so now we have an entire planter of tomatoes. 3 different kinds of tomatoes, hopefully to produce a whole bunch of tomato plants for our garden. Because we love tomatoes. I love to make tomato sauces and spaghetti sauces and canned those. And you'll see that coming up in future videos as to how I do some of my canning to store our food. But We've got all our tomatoes done there. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this planter and I'm going to plant half banana peppers, sweet banana peppers, and half cabbage. So that we'll have those plants to come up because we got to have some kraut this year. And I want to can some peppers also if I can. We like those with our soup beans. So that's what I'm going to put in this planter. Remember guys, don't forget to put your diaper in the bottom of there so that it can hold the water. And make sure you take these in and out doors. Don't just leave them inside. Take them outside and let them get in touch with the elements. You'll have a stronger plant that way. Also, again, if you have any comments that you would like to leave to us or anything like that, you know, you can do so. We would love to hear from you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Yay, I said it and didn't mess up this time. But please subscribe to us. Become part of our family. We want you all here with us during our journey to see if we can make it without having to go to the store all the time. That's our main goal in life, is to try to be self-sufficient. So just stay tuned and watch and see what happens as we grow closer and closer to getting a homestead started. Thanks for watching. See you guys later.